right, I think we're ready to go here. All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps here. I'm John with Pro Craps. Today, we're going to go and monkey around some more with this Hedgeless Horseman strategy that we've got. And the Hedgeless Horseman so far has proven to be pretty stout. We've done a bunch of rollouts with it. In its base form, it's pretty good. There is a giant hole in it when you get the third combat set, which I think we've got some mitigation strategies around from earlier videos. Today, what I'm going to do is roll it out from the dark side and say, what if the table trends red? How do we change our way? How does the Hedgeless Horseman allow you to change in midstream on what would be a cold table? So we're going to try that out today. Again, we're live streaming here this morning, so if you're new to the channel, thank you for joining. If you are missing some of the live streams, we do Coffee and Craps a couple times a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. We do a Cocktails and Craps episode where I sort of think out loud and just try things to build strategies out. That's also live typically Wednesdays or Fridays, maybe both at night. I don't have a strict schedule, so if you're missing out on these and you want to participate live, hit the notification bell on YouTube and it'll let you know when we're about to go. I typically hit the countdown clock about 15-20 minutes before I'm going to go live, so it's usually kind of late notice, so the bell will help you out in finding when we do this. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the table here and we're going to set this up and I'm going to talk you through the way that I think about the dark side with regards to a strategy like this. So here we go. And we're going to start out with a $200 per shooter bankroll. Now I'm not going to load my rack with 10 shooters worth of money, which you normally would want to do here, but I'm going to use 200. And normally the Horseman strategy, and I'll review it with you again, is a 4-unit strategy where you go into the don't pass with 1 unit, and then you'll make 3 successive combats. And the idea is that you're strong on the 7 early. You do have 1 weak spot on the initial come out roll where the 7 can get you, but after that you've got pretty good 7 coverage. And then from that point you can shift. You can move around from light side to dark side depending on how the table is trending. So we've been showing some light side strategies, and today I want to look at what would happen if the table went dark or was trending red. What does that even look like for us? So the first thing I want to do is talk to you about trends. And let me get the money back in my rack first. There's 100, there's 50, and there's 50 in red here that we're going to use. So we're going to get this in the rack to play through. Now, define a dark table or a table that's trending red. It's hard to do. It's one of those things where you don't know it until you're in it sometimes. And it's not just the shooters not making their points. I think that a common thing that you'll look at is, well, the shooter didn't make their point a couple times, so therefore my don't pass, it's a red table. It's deeper than that to me, okay? What if a shooter is on the 5, right, and they make their point? Cool, they made their point, hooray for them, and then they roll an 11, 2 7s, and 11 before setting a new point, okay? That's 4 naturals on the come out, which has everybody at the table cheering and high-fiving because the guy made 4 shots in a row. But to me, this is an indicator already that we're trending in the wrong direction. When I see that many 7s and horn numbers coming out, to me, you get into a trend, and that's what you want to try and avoid if you're a right side better for sure. So how do you spot a trend? There's so many ways to spot the dark trend, and that's one of them. Is I'm keenly aware of how many horn numbers are being thrown, and I'm also aware of how often I'm seeing 7s. It's not so much the number of them, it's when they come, I think is important. But here's what we look at. The way that the casino makes their money and the way the house edge kind of works is wins over time. So let's say that you've got this, I'm going to use white chips and red chips. Let's say that you've got pass line, the actual pass line and don't pass bar, or don't pass line. Let's say these things win at different rates. The pass line might have 2 wins, followed by a win on the don't pass, and then a win on the pass, a win on the pass, the don't pass wins, the don't pass wins 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a row, pass line, pass line. Maybe that's the table. Okay, let's take a look if that was just the line bets as they won. Now, what I spot here is this. You would say, if you're a right side bettor, hey, we're doing pretty good here. We got 4 wins out of 5. That's a good trend to be on. Then the dark side player gets 5 in a row. Another good trend to be on, followed by a couple of pass line winners. Okay, and I'm not talking about come out winners. I'm talking about points being hit or not being hit here. if you look at the numbers here, you've got 2, 4, 6 wins for the pass line and 2, 4, 6 wins for the don't pass. Okay, from the casino standpoint and from the odds probability standpoint, you're right about where you should be, right? They're about a 50-50 match for each other. You know, you might have an extra pass line win over here. Let's just say that happens, right? Now you're at probably, or maybe it's an extra don't pass because the don't pass is a little more probability. Let's say you're down here and you get one more don't pass. What you're looking to catch is the trend. Look at craps at the line bet level, like you would look at the roulette table with the red and black, right? When you walk by a roulette table and you see the big LED sign and things are red and black up there, you're spotting trends. And I think a good way to win at roulette, by the way, and like baccarat, is to play the trend. What's happened before is more likely to happen next. Now, yes, craps is a completely random game, right? The dice are going to do what the dice are going to do, and one roll of dice has zero to do with the next roll of dice. That we can be assured of, okay? However, you do see things like this happen. When you run, and I run a ton of simulations. I run every strategy that I do. I run it through WinCraps, and I run it through thousands of rolls just to see kind of what the trend lines look like. And this is what you find. You find that over time, the probabilities match. Don't pass here wins 7 versus the pass line 6. That's what you would expect. The 7 is more powerful than the numbers in the roll. But what I really like to see is this trend line. And what you're trying to do here in craps is spot the trend and be on the trend. And that's why the Hedgeless Horseman strategy is sort of designed to help you spot this. And you're going to go, okay, we're in a little bit of a trend. You took a dip. You're back on trend. 1, 2 hits in, you're going, okay, maybe now we're trending dark again. And you're going to jump onto the train at about here, and you're going to catch 3 in a row. And that would be ideal, to catch three bad rolls in a row before the table starts to pick up again. And if you can find yourself in a trend, whether it's down here or on the light side, if you catch 6 points in a row, which, you know, your fire bet, people win that all the time, that can happen too. And the shooters can catch fire. And if you can recognize it here and be on here for 4 straight good rolls, you're cooking. That's what we're looking to do here. So the dark side of this thing today, we're going to try and catch a trend. Now, what I've got to do, because we are shooting live, obviously, is I can't find a trend for you. We're going to have to pretend that we have spotted a trend and that we feel like the thing is going in our direction. So I'm going to show you what I might do as a player when that trend happens. Okay, so things I'm looking for in this trend are this. I'm looking for clusters of 7s. I'm looking for frequency of 7. So if I see, you know, a point get hit, 2 numbers, and then a 7, that's a 7 coming with a rapid rate. And I'm looking at that speed at which it shows up. I'm also looking for consecutive 7s if I see them on the come out rolls, if I see a 0.7 outs. I'm also looking here. I'm also going to look in this area. If I start seeing horn numbers roll, and those to me are a danger sign. You always hear the saying, see a horn, bet a horn. It's one of those, you know, gambler's fallacy kind of things. But, you know, again, the horn doesn't know that it got rolled before. There's no trend there that you can really get onto. However, what I do see is shooters getting into grooves. So very frequently, a roller, even the most random roller of all, right? You watch Greg at 555 craps, he just shoves those dice down there as hard as he can, trying to cause randomness more than normal. But a regular roller, you know, shooters will take their dice and they'll just, whatever they come to them at, and the doers, will, of course, will typically give you, they'll give you your dice on the number that you're trying to hit here, right? They'll give you the 5 in this case. And most shooters will just pick them up and throw them, right? And the doers are giving you what you want to see. You're just going to pick them up and let them fly. If you're throwing with the same rhythm, you end up in a groove. And that's what happens to people if they're not completely, you know, what we would call a chicken feeder. If they're actually throwing random, then, or sorry, in a groove, you'll find clusters of numbers starting to be hit. And it's not about dice control. It's just about rhythm. And you'll find that you're in pockets. So when I see pockets of horn numbers come out, I feel like the table's starting to trend away from the numbers that are going to pay me on the right side and start trending towards numbers that are going to be more dark side friendly. So what I tend to do when I sense a dark table is not only do I start playing strong for the 7, which I think is a good play, I also start getting a little bit more aggressive in the horn because I feel like darkness begets darkness. And when you're in kind of a southward bound table, I try to attack both the 7 and the horn numbers. And I think, to me, that play comes out to be pretty strong. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna actually roll this out, and I'm gonna start with the standard Horseman here. And we're gonna go with the $25 don't pass. Now, I may not stay here, but we're gonna do this. The standard Horseman again is 25 here, 3 $25 come bets. When I sense the table going a little bit south, what I'm gonna probably do is this. On the come out roll, if I'm on the don't pass only, I'm going into the horn. I'm gonna drop a nickel, get a buck change, and we're gonna go, and I'm gonna go to the horn. I'm gonna leave the horn bets down here, just so I don't have to keep going back and forth, but every come out roll when I do this, I'm gonna have a horn bet out here. So we're gonna go to the horn, and we're gonna not protect ourselves. And I don't want you to think about it. I'm not trying to protect this quarter with, because the horn bet, one of your dollars goes to the yo, and you have a dollar everywhere else, right? I'm trying to attack the three-way craps here, because I feel like if the table's going dark, what I want to do is get extra juice on the 2, 3, and the 12. I'm trying to get extra money on these dark side wins. That's what I'm going for here. So I'm going to bet the horn more often when I'm on the don't pass in a dark trending table. Now that does cost me $4, right? If we get a point set, this bet becomes effectively a $21 bet, not a $25 bet. If we lose on the 7, we lose $29 now. So there's a little more at risk, a little bit more reward. And again, I feel like when I start seeing those ugly numbers show up, more of them are probably coming. And that's why I'm making that play. I may eventually drop this down. I'm a big believer on playing for the 7. I like flat bets better than odds bets. However, in a southward trending table, I'll probably lay odds here. The reason for having $200 in the rack is there's the standard Horseman, the 4 units. I've got this extra set of money allotted per shooter that lets me be more nimble. This is what's paying for the horn bets. This is what might pay for the field. If I start seeing some numbers come back, I may limp into the field versus playing more box numbers. I'm not going to go light. I'm not going to place anything here in this strategy today. So here we go. Let's roll it out dark, and I'll sort of explain my thinking as we go along here and see if this makes some sense. We're going to get a come out roll here, and we're on the 9. Our first come out roll is going to be on the 9. Now, again, I don't know how I'm going to roll today. We're simulating darkness here. So I'm going to roll a 9. I'm going to assume that we're in one of those downward trends that we talked about. And I'm going to do what I would normally do in a dark table and take some odds on that 9. Okay. If it was a 4 or a 10, I'd probably go with, I don't know, probably $100 in odds. I'd probably lay 100 on the 4 or the 10 on a dark table, if it's a really dark table, because you're making a strong play for the 7 here. The idea of going dark is to make a strong play for one of those numbers. So I'm going to probably go 100 lay on the 4 or 10. On the 9 and the 5, the 6 and the 8, probably just going to go 30. I might go with 60. The 9 and the 5 are weak enough numbers that I would probably lay $60. So double my flat bet in odds here on the 7. And then I'm going to come through with smaller size come bet. So normally the Hedgeless Horseman, you do the same size come bet as you would come through with on your flat, don't pass. But here, again, I'm not sensing that we're going to hit a lot of box numbers, and I'm going to try and set myself up here to have more 7 protection, and not protection, more 7 attack later on. So, and remember, the horn bet out here is off right now. We're going to take the horn. Actually, you know what? We're going to leave the horn bet on, I think. I'm going to drop another nickel and get another penny back. I'm going to leave the horn bet on for right now because, again, we're coming out effectively. And if you're seeing the horn numbers roll, we're going to try and attack that trend. Again, that bet is not relative to this bet necessarily. If I'm at the $25 level here, I might go 8 because, again, I'm trying to attack relative, but I'm not trying to protect this at all. So here we go with another come roll here. That's going to be to an 8. So the horn bet will lose. Again, I'm leaving it up just for expediency's sake. But now we have a play on the 8. We'll do another come bet here. And the ordering of this may change. We'll see what happens here. Coming out again to a 4. And now it's decision time. Okay. Normally the Horseman has you go out with another come bet, your third come bet. And notice that I've dropped my numbers here, right? So I've got 25 flat and I've got 60 lay on this 9. And I've come out with 10 each time. And you're still strong on the 7 here. You're stronger here than you normally are with the Horseman. So your overall 7 protection or coverage is good. And I don't want to call it coverage when I'm on the dark side. It's my play on the 7. So I'm going for the 7 here with a bigger bet. I was going for it here in the first 2 rolls because, again, you're thinking the table's trending dark. What I'm probably doing on a dark table is only playing 2 come bets, and I'm probably coming through with a don't come at this point. And the reason for that is this. I want to make sure that if the shooter does happen to hit this point, and I'm in a situation where I've got 2 come bets set, I'd like to have play on the 7 for the come out roll. And this is going to protect me in 2 ways. We're going to try this once and see what happens. I'm going to show you an alternate to this in a second. Let's see if we can't either get a number here or get out of the hand. So there's an 8. That worked out pretty good. We're going to have a don't come 8. We're going to get paid on the 8 and bring that back to our rack. So here, the dark trending table is trending light for us. Okay, but now I've got, one of my come bets has resolved. I'm not going back in. Okay, if this is a dark table, I'm not going back in for a second come bet. I'm not trying to play light side here. I was playing early for the 7. Now my 7 coverage is beautiful. I've got, $25 flat out here. I've got 60 and 25 down here on the don't pass. I have a choice to make. Okay, we don't like laying odds if we don't have to because, again, laying odds, you're putting more money out to win less. Always a bit of a risk when you're on the lay side of things, especially in craps. An option here is to pull the lay bet down and let the $225 flat bets be your attack on the 7. That could be enough to cover it. Both of those flat bets easily cover the $10 on the 4. Both of those flat bets are easily attacking the 7. Do we need the extra? I don't know if we do or not. Depends on how cold the table is. I'm going to leave this here. And really, you've got the option as well to get up in here and drop a lay on the 8 as well. If you think the table is going that dark, you can lay. You have 2 chances now to lay. One of the things about the dark side and the don't pass, especially and the don't come, is this. It feels like you've got more money on the 7 than you do. You've also increased the number of ways to lose. Okay, I can now lose on the 4 ways that we roll a 9, and I can lose on the 5 ways we can roll an 8. So I've increased my number of ways to lose. However, neither of those numbers will take all of my money. So in this case, we have a better play on the 7 here, and I think we're okay. Now again, depends on how dark the table is if you're laying odds. To me, these odds are completely optional based on how bad it's going. If you're seeing 7s every other roll, I'm probably laying on these numbers. I'm going to show you the lay, leave it out here now, for 2 reasons. One is just to show you what it looks like. And 2, if you're in a dark trending table, I don't fear that. I'm not going to fear laying odds against the 8 even on a super dark table. If you're in that zone, you're in that zone, it'll happen. And the 7 will do what it's going to do. So we're going to leave the odds out here right now. And we have a small bet on the 4, which again was inconsequential. It was there to kind of get us through the come. And if the table started to go a little bit the other way, these $10 bets let us start catching the light side train if it shows up. Let's roll this out. And we're going to be on a 6, which doesn't matter. We're looking for either the 4 or the 7. That's our entire play here. There's another 6. And the way that this goes, this is why I love doing live shows, because the dice just don't care what you're talking about. Here's a 7. So we did hit a couple of 6s there. You miss out on a couple of hits if you're a light side player, but so what? Here we get paid on the 7, and up on the 8, you get paid. Your flat bet gets paid 25, and your odds are going to get paid 5 to 6. So another quarter for 30. That's a pretty good win up top. On the bottom here, you've got, again, a flat bet, which gets paid, and 60 is going to pay 40 on that lay of the 9. So you end up being able to pull a bunch of money back to your rack on this dark table. We're going to lose that bet on the 4. And we can restart the process. Now, here is a question for you. When the table is trending dark and you're seeing more 7s, here's an option that I want to explore. I might consider this. I might consider going into the pass line. I'll put it where you can see it. Instead of the don't pass. Why? I'm attacking the number, not the outcome. And I think that's an important thing for you to hear. And I want you to kind of digest that for a minute. The number 7 is what I'm attacking here on a dark table. I'm not attacking when that number comes. So the 7 that comes on the come out roll hurts you on the dark side. It helps you on the pass line side of things. So in this case, if we're rolling a ton of 7s, okay, 7 and the horn are dark numbers. Why not put a play out here that actually pays you when the number comes out? And again, I said this earlier, if you see a shooter rolling 11-7-7, 11-7 number, that to me is a dark table. I'm going to go pass line and try and take a hit on the 7 here. So I'm going to flip in midstream here just to show you what it might look like to play the dark side from the right side, which is this. We're going to go and attack the come out 7 because we feel like the shooter is rolling so many 7s. We're actually going to attack it here on the pass line, and then I'll come through with a dark side play immediately following that to kind of get myself back on track. We'll see how that looks too. This is another alternative to play the dark side. So the last time I did don't pass odds, come bet with or don't come with odds. This time I'm going to attack the 7 early on the come out roll, and I forgot, by the way, to play the horn. So there's my nickel for the horn with my dollar change. We didn't win. Horn bet still sitting there. And now our point's going to be an 8. So we didn't get the 7 we were looking for on that come out roll, which is unfortunate. What is fortunate is that we got an 8. So if the table does start to turn right side, you have a good bet out here on the 8. What I'll probably do here is this, and this is going to be the danger point. We're going to come in the don't come immediately. Okay, here is the hole in this version of the strategy, in the dark side strategy. The 7 comes right now, you're going to get whacked for 50, which really sucks. You could put a lay 4 to protect this one from coming out. That might not be a bad play. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know that I would do this live. We'll lay it up, but I want to show you that this is an option. If you're nervous about that 50 bucks, you could lay the 4 for, I'm laying it for 50. That just saves that one bet. Okay, that's what you're not going to save this bet. You're going to save one of them. Laying 100 is an option to save both. Let's just lay 50, protect the one bet. We'll pull that down. I want to get that don't come bet set and work like we did last time. We have a hard 10 here. So my don't come is going to move to the 10, which is great. We'll take that lay 4 bet down. And now we're in a position where we're even Steven, right? If the 7 comes right now, this wins, this loses. We're on the 10 on the don't pass side. I'm going to lay. Okay? I'm going to lay 100 on the don't come bet that we have set on the 10. So now I've got really good 7 protection up here. I did the don't come so that I could put a lay out here against a strong number. The 10 is a strong number to lay against. And then we'll do our regular $10 come progression. Again, we're trending dark, so I'm not looking to hit a bunch of inside numbers, but I'm looking to use these $10 bets as kind of my indicators. Okay, I feel like we're going dark, which I feel like we are. Again, we're going to go another nickel into the dollar change here to go to the horn, which I forgot to do, by the way, up here. That's just an oversight because I'm talking. Again, I'm using these here as indicators, not as winners. I'm putting 10 bucks out twice from the come to see if we're going to start getting points hit. I want to hit the 7. I feel like we're in one of those valleys where we're going to hit some 7s here. But I'm going to use this, get a couple of bets set, and see if they start getting hit and set. That's going to be my indicator that the table's going back to green. And that's the way that we're going to kind of figure out when to make a shift. Okay, there's a 3-1-4, which is okay. We'll do another come bet here. And again, dark trending tables to me, you're throwing outside numbers. You're throwing the 4, the 10. You're throwing horn numbers and every manner of other things. There's a 4-3-7. Okay, so again, we have a point. We had one number hit, and we have the 7 out. That's a pretty standard procedure here. So that's going to pay a little bit, which is great. We're going to lose on the pass line, which is, again, unfortunate, but we did that bet for a reason. There was a reason to attack the 7 here, and it's an okay investment because we did a strong play on the lay 10 up top. So that's going to pay us a quarter for the flat bet and 50 for our odds, and come back to our rack. Okay, bring that back in again. We'll lose our come bet on the 4. And if we look at the state of our rack, we started out with $150. We are currently at, there's 100, there's our 50 that we started with. Okay. In reds, we had 50 bucks in reds. I'm going to go ahead and color these out so we can see where we are. There's, let's see, let me get one of these 25s broke down. There is the 50 in red. So this is our starting. 150 in green, 50 in red. That was our starting bankroll. And in just a few shooters here, we've turned that into 125 plus 20, so 145 bucks. Pretty quick, right? Just a couple of shooters and a couple of decent decisions that we made to make strong plays on the 7. I think that was a good move. And we almost doubled our rack just in a couple of shooters by sensing a trend and being able to attack the 7 in a certain way. And again, the play on the pass line didn't necessarily work out, but to me, that pass line play on the come out is the same as us going into the come during the roll, right? If you're sensing a 7 coming or you're playing for the 7 to come short, you're going to hit that and attack the pass line on the dark side strategy. So again, using the right side to be a dark side player is a thing that people don't normally think about. But to me, it's a pretty strong play to do that. So let's do one more. I'm going to rack up our original bankroll here, and we're going to play with our winnings just to see one more roll how this can play out. Okay, we'll do it one more time. So we're going to go ahead and come out. And this time, again, we're going to stay on the pass line. We're a dark table here. I'm going to stay pass line, attack the 7 on the come out roll. We're going to drop $5, get a dollar change for our horn bet. And again, we're going to attack the horn. We're going to attack the 7 on the come out roll. The horn bet hasn't paid off for me yet today. Normally, we see a lot of those when I'm doing this, but not today. So we're on the 6. Again, don't fear the 6, but because we went and attacked the 7 here, right, we got a pretty good number for ourselves. So I'm happy with, if we're not going to get paid on the 7, at least we have a good number if the table goes green. Again, we're going to go don't come. We're going to lay the 4 just to get the don't come bet set, and then pulling that lay bet down. So now we're just avoiding the 4 here. We've got a 9. And let's look at that. Before I set, that was a 9 that rolled on me. Let's look at the situation we were in here. If the 7 were to come at this point, you lose 50 and win 50. You're kind of or you lose 50, win 25. You're hedging half of your money here to get one of these bets sit. That's going to go to the 9, by the way. And now, once the lay bet comes down, now we can look at our rack and say, where do we want to go here, right? We would probably lay on the 9. And again, on the 9, I'm probably laying 30 up here. Maybe 60, but we're playing with a short rack, right? Remember, we've locked up our initial. I'm not going to put anything out here at risk anymore. We're trying to get extra profit based on playing with some extra winnings here. So the idea here is not to go in super hard, but we do have a play on the 7 now. We're going to win on the 7. We're going to win 25 and 20 on the 7 up there. We're going to lose 25 here. So it's a net $20 win on the 7. We'll do our 2 come bets coming through. And again, I'm going to have to get change here. We're going to attack the horn. So bet 5, 1 change. And we'll see what happens. It goes, oh boy, that sucks. It goes right to the 9. So here's our first look at getting beat a little bit. So our come bet's going to move to the 9. We're going to lose our lay bets. So that's the first real loss we've taken here in this strategy today. But that's going to happen. Maybe this is the indicator that the table is going to go in a different direction. We'll see. I'm not going to replace that. Okay. To me, putting another 25 bucks at risk. We got beat on it once. There's no sense in chasing it. Let's see what happens with this bet here. And again, use those smaller come bets as your indicator as to what's happening. Now, here we go with a 7. So it came 1 roll off when it should have. Lose our 9, lose our pass line, but get paid here in the come, bring it back. And, we lost on the 9, which is a real bummer, but it showcases that you're not going to hit every trend correctly. But that's how I would attack it. I would actually attack the dark side again, probably more heavy on the pass line to get that early 7 relative to, like, I think what Greg talks about a lot is playing what he calls the Andre system, which, let me clean up my rack here. I'll show you how that could work along with, I'm going to put all this money back in the house here. And let's get the puck off, bring our back money up here. The Andre system works like this, where you're going to bet a little bit more on the pass line. Let's go over here. Let 50, I'll spread them out. 50 on the pass and a quarter on the don't, or maybe even 10 bucks on the don't. It doesn't matter. The ratio is, I think, what's going to be important here. Let's go 50 and 25. And it's a do we don't, but you're heavier here. And what you're trying to do is give yourself opportunity to say, you know what, I think the 7's coming on the come out roll because, again, short, choppy table. If the 7 comes here on the come out roll, you win an extra quarter. You lose a quarter, but you win 50, so you're up a quarter in that case. If the 7 doesn't come and we have a number get set, now I've got a bet that I can place odds on, and you're going to have to outweigh the pass line. So in order, let's say it's the 5, I'd have to lay probably, probably 90, I would think, on the 5 to make this work, because again, if the 7 were to come here, you'd lose 50. You'd win a quarter here, and the 90 is going to pay 60, which just barely covers what you lost over here. So in this case, you have to lay so much more to cover what was on the pass line. You got to really go aggressive on your lay. Again, this is a net $35 win, which isn't bad, right? But you got to put quite a bit out there to get it right. So that's the Andre way. You can go 2 on the pass, 1 on the don't pass, and sort of hedge your come out roll. Again, attacking the 7 here, and then building on the 7 after the come out roll. I like the plan of that. Okay. One other thing you can do, and I think this one is the last one I'll talk through, is a don't pass progression. So if you feel dark, really dark coming, and I'm going to lay back out what we said earlier. Let's say there's 2, a don't pass win, a pass line win, a pass line win, and then we had what, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 don't pass line wins in a row. This is what you're looking for. Now, I want you to watch. If you get a chance to watch it, go to Craps Down Under on YouTube. Andrew's got a video he put out on the 2-1-3-4 system. I think it's 2-1-3-4 or 1-2-1-3-2-4, I guess it is. And what he's doing is he's making progressively bigger bets on the don't pass. So here's how that works. You bet 1 on the don't pass. Let's say that you spot the trend in here, right? You bet 1. That don't pass bet wins a quarter. Your next bet is 3. So it's 1, 3. Now you take another one from your rack and you stack it up and you're betting 3. If that wins, again, you're into the trend here. If that one wins, you're going to win 3 units. You bring all 6 units here. You're going to go back to a 2-unit bet. So you're bringing back 4 to your rack. Now, your initial investment was the initial 1. You added 1. So you're into this thing for 2 right here. And you've got a 2-unit profit already. If this one wins, you stack it right back up and you have a 4-unit bet now on the don't pass at no risk. You've already profited 2, and if you get a 4th win, it's $100, okay? That is a way to attack this thing from the don't pass exclusively. And again, I would probably still use those don't come bets at the lower level to hunt down what's possible. So let's roll this out super quick. So we don't have a lot of time here, but let's go ahead and go with a 1 unit. Let's get down here, 1 unit. We'll see what happens really quick. I'll see if I can make this work. There's a 6. We may have to kind of fudge it here because of, again, time, but let's see what happens. There's a 6, there's a, oh, sorry, we didn't come out here. That would have lost. Again, we're hunting inside numbers to see, does the table change? That goes to the 6. And we've lost this. Let's try it again. Don't pass 1. It's going to be a 10. Like my chances here. There's aces. And again, we're coming into the come. We would have lost that bet. So you see what's happening here? The table, these horn numbers, they start to cluster a little bit based on how you're throwing. There's a 5. Oh, I didn't get my second horn bet or come bet. Goes to 5. Now we're done. Done coming. Let's see if we can get a 7 to show up here. There's a 9. There's a 7. So that's going to pay us here. These will lose. We're going to stack that and add 1 to it. So there's 1, 3. Now if we can get another winner, and Andrew, when he filmed his video, he did it with point numbers winning, right? How many times did the don't pass win on the point? I would say anytime this bet pays you, you're going to go up and down with it. So if I hit a horn number here, I would actually stack and rack that. So there's a 4. New point's going to be 4. And again, solid point here, but I'm not going to take the odds on this. We're just going to roll this out. Let's see the comeback. There's a 7. So here we are. We're in that negative trend. So there's 1, 2, 3. That's going to pay us 3. We're going to go backwards to 2. And here's the 2 units that I started this thing with. Back in the rack. I've got a profit of 2 chips already. If we get another winner down here, we can stack it to 4. And there is a come out loser, 437. So we're out of that cycle. But we profited 2 on that, which is kind of cool. If we would have won, let's pretend. Let's put that back out there. And just kind of give it a for instance here. Let's say that was let's say it was a 3 or aces. If it was aces and we got paid 2, I would immediately just stack that. And there's your $100. There's your 4. So it's 1, 3, 2, 4. And you're looking to get something big here. So I think playing a come or don't pass progression along with hunting the numbers using the come, I think is a smart play. So anyway, message here is this. The dark side does involve the horn. The dark side can involve the pass line. Again, you're looking for clustered 7s. You're not looking for don't pass wins. And don't get yourself in the mindset that the dark side only means the person is not hitting their numbers. They're 7ing out. The dark side means anything that's kind of trending on the non-point level. When I start seeing non-points, that to me is my indicator. And I'm using, in our case here, smaller size come bets. I'm using $10 come bets because, again, I don't feel like the person is going to be repeating numbers, but I'm using those to hunt out the trend. If these things do start getting set and they do start getting hit, that's my indicator that the table might be going away from the dark side back to the light, and that might be the key for me to make a switch on the next roll. So with that said, those are my thoughts on the horseman from the dark side. I'm sure that dark side experts will have better ideas. I know that I was talking to Chris at Chuck and Dice, and Chris does a play on this where he's got he's using the hop 7 on here. He'll actually play the don't pass and hop the reds on to protect this roll, because in his mind, and I agree with him, the better play on a dark table is to have a flat bet on the don't pass. The better play is not to have a flat bet out here on the pass line. So if you do a don't pass, hop the reds for $6, you protect this bet, and then you have the opportunity to throw the big lay bet out once it's set. So this is a stronger play in the roll. This is a stronger play in the come out roll. So your results may vary, of course, but that's a really cool option as well. I'm not a big hop better. I don't do the math well on hop bets. Some people just love it. So I'm looking for, again, comments, ideas, suggestions from everybody on what you would do if the table turned dark, and how would you attack a table with the Hedgeless Horseman when the table trend switches and flips. So again, that's my take on it here, my first initial take. I'm looking to see what, I know Greg's going to film a video on this later on and see what his take on it is, and just kind of get some ideas here as we roll through this. So with that said, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, especially the notification bell. Again, if you want to be on these live streams with me and chat during the roll. Now, I had my computer out here. I'm sorry, my back of my head showing. But I really couldn't see the chats very good here. So yeah, I like to do this where I can see the chat and talk to you during the episode. Yeah, get on the notification. Let's see you here live. Last night we had 26 people in the live stream last night. We have just about 7 here today, which isn't bad. It's early in the morning, but anyway, thanks again for joining. Thanks for watching. Just saying hi here to Justin and Greg. I see Jedi's on the line, and Lucas came to join again. Old PS, good to see you, man. Yeah, so thanks for all coming. This is great stuff. And we will, I'll see you next time.